Well, we're joining from the very famous and much awaited BT Masterclass in New Delhi, and I'm joined by Professor Vivek, Dr. Vivek Ranga, and Professor S.C. Sharma. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And I think the first question has to be, and let's address the elephant in the room, the fact that ICFAI has been quite on the leading charts every time when it comes to the top business schools. So who do you credit on this? Is it the conventional norms going on for years, or is it the innovation along with, of course, the digitization that must be credited?
Okay. Thank you for a very comprehensive question.
I'll hold it.
I will say that our founder, Mr. N.J. Yashasvi, should be given credit. His name must be mentioned because it was he who visualized the future of management education. It was he who said that the purpose of a business school is to prepare the students for the industry and make them employable. Actually, what National Education Policy 2022 is talking today, those very priorities were set by Mr. Yashasvi way back in 1990s.
Right.
Yeah, mid-1990s. So, to my mind, the systems, the ecosystem, the priorities, the strategies, the sequencing, and the seriousness that Mr. Yashasvi has injected, that very strength, that very light is taking it forward. Of course, people who have come or who are managing the affairs today have contributed very richly to see that we remain contemporary and we remain relevant and we are ahead of others in terms of our competitiveness.
That's great. Thank you very much. Dr. Ranga, I'm going to come to you. And the second question has to be, I'm going to relate it to our today's theme, which has been navigating uncertainty in the post-pandemic era. So you have to tell me, how do you think has the whole sector, the education sector, changed in the post-pandemic era? And what do you credit? Is it the academic values that have got better, or the whole concept of investing in good education that stands credible in today's times?
I'll take it further from what Professor Srikant Datar mentioned. He mentioned three things very clearly, that the emphasis of digital transformation, which is impacting business. He also talked about the kind of concern of the business on the society. And the third aspect of the future of the work. Now, when I take the future of work, I think that's the most important happening. And today, when we look at education and the influence of technology, I think what we're looking at, the students were doing online. Of course, they are expected to be working offline. They expected to go to the office. Right. I think what is important today is the inherent sincerity of the student, while they're being online. And I think that is the point we were driving last 2 years. And the onus of learning was on them, because, there were no measures to control the students. So I think that is what our faculty was able to drive them all across our 9 campuses, that you come and take initiative, be sincere in terms of the purpose. And that is what we have been experiencing with our recruiters. Today, our recruiters, all the leading recruiters of the country have supported us, and they've realized that the students are prepared more realistically in terms of. So I think that is the students have taken very, very right in the right tenor, and I feel that that's something our biggest contribution of pandemic is. And of course, when we talk about the best of both the worlds, we are now again back in the offline, but I think we have taken the good part of it in terms of leveraging our alumni connects, leveraging our industry connects, location free. We have been able to perhaps connect with most of our people across the world, and I think that is a good part we are taking. And I'm sure this, the incremental difference which has been happening once we move away from pandemic, I think this will generate a new breed of managers which are going to come from our institution.
Dr. Ranga, a very interesting point that you highlighted was about the recruiters. Just one follow-up question. What is the kind of behavioral change that you're seeing when it comes to job market, and especially the fact that you're also tied up with so many big firms across the globe? Do you see that, for example, Dean had mentioned, and very interesting point was about resignation and layoffs. So on the contrary, are you seeing better hirings, bigger hirings, and at better pay scale?
Yeah, we've seen increase in terms of, because I think new businesses have been created, new models have been innovated. I think one feedback which we got from the recruiter just at the start of the pandemic was that they're not. Of course, the knowledge part, the soft skills part is important, but also they need to be digitally native. Because a lot of business was happening. You had a retail store, your jewelry stores now. You become converting into online those things. The bank accounts were being opened online. So I think that digital capabilities were very important and preferred, and I think that is what we train students. We train students. I think none of us, in fact, the faculty, we had invested a lot in terms of faculty training, the teaching online, creating courses online, and these were small bites were created, and I think that driven the purpose, and that's what the second phase was. Educating the students about getting this, adopting those skills. So I think that is what the recruiter, if I had to say, the premium in terms of numbers, in terms of compensation. I think we have been getting a very positive feedback, and I think we definitely had the existing recruiters. The quantum has gone up in terms of numbers, in terms of compensation, but we also got new sectors coming. The new model business emerging. They also realize it's not only the fundamental knowledge we are providing, but I think we have, as an institution, I think we were very responsive to account all these changes, and I think we were ready by 18th May. I remember 2020, we were ready to orient the class, and this is something which we were doing like 2012. We invested a lot in IT, and so I think this shifting was very easy for us. I think that is what we got a positive feedback, and I think this is encouraging. I think this is the start. We'll go way forward.
I'd say dynamic and innovative. One last question, Professor Sharma, and this is also relating to the whole fact of digitization. How do you see the future of education system in India? I mean, look at new kind of, I'd say, avenues that have come up. Online education that's gone really big. Tele-education is also upcoming. What is the future of education? Just a closing line.
Well, 2-3 things I want to mention. Number one, education has to be skill-based, and we don't have to go in for a situation where every student who wants to get employed has to necessarily get a degree, you see.
Right.
So people should be able to get jobs even after 12th class. Even after 12th class, and a time should come
in an organic sector.
In an organic sector, that is where we have to drive, So 12th class, and then you should have some certification programs. And these certification programs, some communication, some soft skill programs, certain programs which will enrich their communication skills, their capacity to get along with others, their capacity to understand the viewpoint of others, their capacity to develop perspectives and move away from anecdotal understanding to conceptual understanding. That is all possible. That is the future of education. And education has necessarily to become the starting point of individuals' transformation. Transformation in terms of the societal interests, transformation in terms of the organizational interests. So man must go beyond his self-interest. And likewise, organizations also have to go beyond the limited perspective of profit motive or balance sheet driven, you see. So individual must contribute to the organization without coercion. He should understand his enlightened self-interest.
Right.
It is only when the companies and corporate are profitable that they can share the prosperity with the employees. And on the other hand, the companies should invest in the human resources so that these human resources are skilled and contribute in a bigger way to the productivity and prosperity of the organization.
Great.
So, madam, in one word, I will say, education has to be connected to the workplace. Education, book-based education, bookish education, theoretical education is of little relevance. Degree is required not for everybody, but jobs are required for everyone.
That's a wonderful point you've made, and I'm going to pick up the one word that is transformational. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on
Thank
BT
you.
Masterclass.
Thank you very much.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.